Welcome back to Power Rangers Shark Attack, the podcast where we dive deep into the adventures of our favorite ocean protectors.
We're the Rangers of the sea, riding on the wave, sharks in our face, fearless and brave, underwater heroes fighting to save. The power of the ocean, here to pave the way. Ride the riptide, feel the surge, shark attack team ready to emerge. Power Rangers Shark Attack, on a mission so bright, with courage and might, we'll win the fight. Thundering guitars, drums that excite, we're the guardians of the deep, bring on the night. We're the guardians of the deep, bring on the night. With an armed wave, we'll make it work, defenders of the sea, true to our purpose, Shark Attack Rangers, our dedication never shirks. Feel the adrenaline as we dive. Power Rangers Shark Attack, on a mission so bright, with courage and might, we'll win the fight. Thundering guitars, drums that excite, we're the guardians of the deep, bring on the night. We're the guardians of the deep.
Last time, Chip discovered the Savage Sabers and used their power to defeat Shellshocker. But new revelations and challenges await our heroes. Join us as we continue the story in Episode 5, the PredaRanger. The Megalozord command sub was filled with the low hum of activity as the Rangers continued to analyze the ancient texts. Alvin, Chip, Monica, Henry, and Courtney gathered around the central table, their faces illuminated by the soft glow of the holographic display. "These texts have been invaluable," Alvin said, pointing to a passage. "We've learned so much about the artifacts and the history of the pirate gang." Monica nodded, though her earlier tension with Alvin still lingered. "And we've seen what the Savage Sabers can do. We need to be prepared for whatever comes next." Chip looked at the holographic map. "What's our next move?" Before Alvin could answer, the alarms blared through the command center. Courtney quickly checked the monitors. "We've got a distress signal from a research vessel near the Trench of Shadows," she reported. "They're under attack." "Let's move, Rangers," Alvin commanded. "Ride the riptide." The team morphed and swiftly made their way to the source of the distress signal. As they approached the research vessel, they saw it was surrounded by buccaloids and a new fearsome enemy, the PredaRanger. The PredaRanger, a dark, sinister figure with sleek armor and glowing eyes, was leading the attack. She moved with a predatory grace, her attacks precise and deadly. "Who is that?" Henry asked, his voice filled with awe and concern. "I don't know," Alvin replied, "but she's powerful. We need to stop her." The Rangers engaged in battle, their weapons clashing with the buccaloids. Chip, wielding his Savage Sabers, faced off against the PredaRanger. Her movements were fluid and aggressive, and Chip struggled to keep up. "You're strong," the PredaRanger taunted, "but you can't defeat me." "We'll see about that," Chip retorted, focusing all his energy into his attacks. Meanwhile, Henry and Courtney defended the research vessel, fending off the buccaloids with their hydro hammer and crossbow crusher. Monica fought alongside Alvin, using her aqua axe to cut through the enemy ranks. The battle raged on, and Chip began to notice something familiar about the PredaRanger's fighting style. It was almost as if he had seen it before. "Who are you?" he demanded, trying to catch his breath. The PredaRanger paused, her eyes narrowing. "I am the PredaRanger," she declared, "and you will not stand in my way." With a swift, powerful strike, she knocked Chip back, sending him crashing into the side of the research vessel. As he struggled to stand, she disappeared into the shadows, leaving the buccaloids to continue the fight. "We need to regroup," Alvin called out. "Fall back and protect the vessel." The Rangers managed to fend off the remaining buccaloids and secure the research vessel. As they returned to the Megalozord command sub, the team was left with more questions than answers. "That PredaRanger was something else," Henry said, shaking his head. "She's dangerous, and she knew exactly how to fight us," Monica added. "It's like she anticipated our every move." Back at the command center, Alvin reviewed the footage of the battle. "We need to find out who she is and what she wants, and we need to be prepared for her next attack. Chip stared at the screen. The image of the PredaRanger burned into his mind. I have a feeling this isn't the last we've seen of her. As the team continued their research, Courtney and Henry found themselves spending more time together, their bond growing stronger with each mission. "Thanks for having my back out there," Courtney said, smiling at Henry. "Always," Henry replied, a hint of a blush on his cheeks. "We make a good team." Suddenly, the alarms blared again. The PredaRanger had returned, attacking another research vessel. The team quickly suited up and headed out to confront her. As they arrived, they saw the PredaRanger tearing through the vessel's defenses, searching for something. "What is she after?" Alvin wondered aloud. The PredaRanger's eyes gleamed with determination. "The research you have on Morphon crystals will be mine," she declared. "Not if we have anything to say about it," Chip retorted, activating his savage armor. The battle was intense, with the PredaRanger matching Chip blow for blow. But with the enhanced power of the savage armor, Chip began to gain the upper hand. "You don't know what you're dealing with," the PredaRanger hissed, her movements becoming more frantic. "We'll see about that," Chip replied, his attacks growing fiercer. As the PredaRanger realized she was being overpowered, she decided to retreat. With one final powerful strike, Chip knocked her back, and she vanished into the shadows. "She's gone," Henry said, his voice filled with relief. "But she'll be back," Chip replied, deactivating his savage armor. "And next time, we'll be ready." The team returned to the Megalozord command sub, where they gathered in the command center to analyze the battle footage. "She's after our research on Morphon crystals," Alvin said. "We need to secure everything and make sure it doesn't fall into the wrong hands." Monica, who had been silent for most of the discussion, finally spoke up. "We also need to figure out who she is and why she's so interested in the crystals." Chip nodded. "There's something about her fighting style. It's almost like I've seen it before." Alvin turned to his sister, noticing the concern in her eyes. "We'll figure it out, Monica. Together." As the team continued their preparations, Courtney and Henry found themselves alone in the lab. "Do you really think we can stop her?" Courtney asked, her voice filled with doubt. Henry took her hand, giving it a reassuring squeeze. "I know we can. We're stronger together." Courtney smiled, feeling a warmth spread through her. "Thanks, Henry. I'm glad you're here." Meanwhile, aboard the interdimensional fallen pirate ship, tension was brewing between Predatox and Swasher. They stood before Captain Blackfin, who was furious over the PredaRanger's retreat. "You failed," Blackfin growled, his eyes burning with anger. "You were supposed to secure the research, not run away." Predatox stepped forward, her voice calm but firm. "The PredaRanger is still learning her strength. We need to give her time to grow stronger." Swasher snickered, his grotesque form shaking with amusement. "Or maybe she's not as powerful as we thought." Predatox's eyes narrowed. "She'll prove herself. Mark my words." Back at the Megalozord command sub, the Rangers were determined to uncover the truth about their new enemy. Alvin and Monica pored over the ancient texts, searching for any clues. "We need to stay vigilant," Alvin said, his voice filled with resolve. "The PredaRanger is still out there, and she won't stop until she gets what she wants." Chip stared at the holographic display, the image of the PredaRanger haunting his thoughts. "We'll be ready for her, and we'll find out who she really is." As the team continued their training and research, the bond between them grew stronger. They knew they had to work together if they were going to protect the ocean and uncover the truth behind their new enemy. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Power Rangers Shark Attack. The Rangers face new threats and discover new mysteries, but their journey is far from over. Join us next time as they continue to protect the ocean from the forces of evil. Until then, keep riding the riptide.